Beyond the Gates. They are finding ways to ante up the drama in the most craziest way. So where do I start? So Andre, I told you his uncle already knew about him and Danny, and Danny finally tells Nicole, and Nicole is feeling some type of way, not just because this boy is young enough to be your son, but because you lied to me, because I asked you and you lied to me, and I'm tired of people lying to me. So they have fallen off for a minute. I have a feeling they're going to kiss and make up, but I get Nicole's frustration, but eventually I believe she's going to chill out. Speaking of Nicole turns around and approaches Ted about how they need to change certain things in their trust. Which, again, I told y'all, Beyond the Gates is good about exposing issues that we need to know about, exposing things that we need to do. And a trust is one of those things I talk about in one of my podcast episodes. If I can find the logo for it, I'll put it up in the episode number. But literally, you want to get a trust versus a will. It costs more money, but it's so much worth it. So she was talking to him about how they need to divide certain things up and how pretty much you need to do this and we need to do that. And he just blurts out finally, he says, hey, let me move back in. I don't have to live in the same room, but I believe that you're finding ways to pull us apart. And if we don't try to salvage this right now, there will be no more us. And she was like, nah. Because she said, every time I see you, I see Leslie. And I'm reminded of what you did. And, and so she walks away. I don't think they ever resolved anything with the trust. Then you have, let's go back. They didn't really deal with Eva and Leslie this week. They really didn't. Which I'm surprised. The only thing that really came out was Kat is adamant, we need to find out this evidence with these teardrops. We need to find out what's happening with this. And she is willing to take the teardrops to, which I don't know how you're going to do that when you already turned in the tissue. I guess she's going to find a way to get more evidence from Leslie/Dana. So she wants to use a private firm to do a DNA test because the police is backlogged with the DNA tests of other cases. And her lawyer boo said that's going to be admissible in court. Like you can't do that. He is really anxious because he really wants to do the deed. Kat's a virgin. And she's like, I'm just not trying to let myself go. And then you leave me hanging out to dry. I refuse to be that one. So what you could tell, and he tells her I'm good with it, but then you know how they always pan to the character's face and the other person doesn't see their face, but we see their face and he's disgusted. And that's how I think he's going to end up with Eva. Because Eva, I don't think doesn't mind going there with him. And I think that's going to be the breakup between those two. Classic soap opera. I might be wrong. If it is, then I called it. So then Kat and Chelsea are being sued, but the father, Bill, who is walking around with a cane, supposed to be not doing any work, but he slowly but surely is. He admits they don't really have a case. Don't worry about it. They're just trying to knock you off your game because they know the potential what you can do with your company. Chelsea brings neurologist boo to go meet her family, and that really wasn't on her. That was Danny being overly anxious, and you need to get early because Chelsea said she's in love. So she said, when you say you're in love, we let these people meet you because we don't want you. Danny's whole hesitation is, I was in love with Bill all those years and he yanked to me. Nicole was in love with all these years and she got yanked and even though she was being yanked. So you need to be vetted. Everyone was cool with it. Vernon, Mr. Dupree, who's the patriarch of the family, he's hesitant because he was like, he feels like Chelsea is rushing due to, even though she hasn't really voiced and acted out as a result of what Bill did, he feels like that's her way of coping with what Bill did with falling for this neurologist. I think they have a legit relationship, but I don't think she's in love. And I don't think it's that serious. But she's finally meeting someone she connects with and sees her for who she is. So I think that's what's pushing her head over heels. Vernon, what I like now, we're starting to see everybody has an evil side to them in soap operas. Very rare you have a goody two shoes that's good all the time. I'll admit Naomi and Andre, we're still kind of feeling Naomi and Jacob. Jacob is a really good guy. Naomi seems to be a really good woman. They're married to each other. Remember, that is Bill and Danny's oldest daughter. Well, Naomi has been representing a homeless woman or an unhoused woman who she got an assault charge because she thought someone was stealing her stuff and throwing her stuff away. And she felt some type of way about it. She hit the guy or hit the girl, whoever it was. And she's trying to work through that case, along with finding out she had some medical issues, so they were able to get her some surgeries. Then she was somewhere else unhoused, and someone stole her belongings. Like somebody raided the camp and stole her belongings. And her thing is, she didn't really need all the stuff she had. It was a particular picture, she said, that took her back to a time when she was happy. So Jacob was able to find this box with this picture in it, and she was overjoyed. And she said, I don't understand why y'all helping me, but I thank you. So Naomi is an awesome lawyer, but she doesn't just represent high clients. She represents those who don't have much. Jacob is a good cop. And right now he's feeling some type of way because he had a feeling that Malone, the detective who's about to retire, Malone, remember, is the same guy who I told you, who Martin's husband, Smitty, interviewed him, had to interview him, and Martin didn't want him to interview him. He didn't tell Smitty that, but he kind of like, well, that's beneath you. But he did that because he knows that Malone is tied to what Martin did that Smitty doesn't know about. Well, instead of Smitty just doing an interview on how you feel about retiring, what do you plan to do with your wife, Smitty has been digging. And Smitty finds out about his account and all these charges, how he received like $5,000 here, $500,000 there. And the reality is it's all tied back to Joey, the big mob boss in the town. And come to find out, and I remember when this happened, Jacob confronted his dad, who was the chief of police, about it. And his dad told him to back up. I didn't realize that dad was covering Malone's behind because he's in it too. He's been getting money too. And that is blowing Jacob's mind because he believes that Malone has been deceiving his dad, which I'm mad I don't know the dad's name. I need to look it up and put it up when I place this video. So he thinks Malone has been deceiving his dad when the reality his dad, they've been hand in hand with this Joey guy. Speaking of Joey, he got, oh girl, Bride, the realtor. I'll put her name. I know her last name is Bride. He got her turned. Like sprung. I hear T-Pain in the background right now. Because she is willingly still sleeping with him, but at the same time, her husband knows she's sleeping with him. And what is it about him? What are you? And it's like, what type of punk marriage do y'all have that you willingly let your wife sleep around? Like, that's okay with you. And he's not sleeping around. It is to cater to her sexual desires. So I'm thinking she's strong arming Joey. Because whatever deal they had, it was like, we're going to get 20% of this. We're not giving you all this. Whatever money we make off this, we're going to pay you back. But whatever more money we make from this, we're going to get 20%. But then before the husband walks in, the way she's talking, it finally comes out, I still want some. I still want you. And you can have me on this table again. Ma'am. So then the husband walks in on this and like, what did I walk in on? You know what you walked in on. So he even got on her about how, he said something about, is your behind actually covered? And she's like, you have the right to judge. If it wasn't for you and you losing all this money, we wouldn't be in this position. Let's be real. Before you knew about your husband's debt, you wanted Joey. Don't put this on your husband. You wanted Joey from the beginning. So why are you tripping like this? Like, I don't understand. Oh my God. So it's just like, chick. So he was like, once we pay him back, I am done. I am done with all this. So I don't know if he meant to her, I'm done with you and I need to move on with my life. But he needs to be. Why would you want to be with somebody like that? Vanessa, I think is her name. Why would you want to be with someone willingly sleeps with other people? As someone who they haven't shown in a while, there was a young guy who worked at the country club, and that was one of her, they were together a lot, and he was getting jealous when he noticed she wasn't coming to him anymore. And the husband, Dr. McBride, realizes you're addicted to his power. You're addicted that Joey is powerful, but you don't know what that power is going to do to you. You end up serving time behind this. She's like, I know what I'm doing. Okay. Y'all, you going to F around and find out, as they like to say. Then you have Martin and Vernon. That's why I started to tell you and I got sidetracked. Vernon, again, is the patriarch of the family. He is married to Miss Anita Dupree, and he's always known as a senator, retired senator, living the high life, and he's done some dirty stuff. So Martin, I think, context clues killed someone. They covered it up, and now the white guy who I told you who has been following Martin is the guy he killed brother, because he's been taunting Martin and saying stuff, and then finally Martin confronted him. He was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And finally Martin realized that is him. And Vernon felt some type of way because Vernon said they paid someone to follow this guy so he would leave town because they paid him off, okay? Somehow Malone and Jacob's father is tied into all this because fast forward to next week, the preview they showed, you have Martin in the room with Vernon, Bill, Ted, and the two cops. All of them black. I love it. Because you have Bill, who's a high-powered attorney. You have Ted, who I forgot. He's a doctor, but I can't remember what kind of doctor he is. He has his own practice, and his partner is black. And then you have the chief of police. You have the head detective. And you have Vernon, who was known as a senator and helping with civil rights and helping out with people having their rights and justice and all that good stuff. All black men, powerful men in the room. We need shows like this. Yes. So, and when Martin comes in the room, he's like, why are they all here? And he's like, he knew about it too. And I was like, oh. So I hope that comes out. So first, Vernon thought Martin was being delirious, and maybe you do need to go get help. Maybe you do need to go see that psychologist, psychiatrist. I'm saying it wrong. Y'all know who I'm talking about, but the one who would prescribe medicine. He was like, Dad, I cannot tell someone who can potentially out me. And he says, Granddad, who can potentially out me. I got to get this out. So, and he goes to tell Smitty, and then he clams up. because Vernon told him not to tell, which is not good. Then his wife, Miss Anita, suspects something's going down. She's away, remember, in Chicago. Her and the Articulates are getting together for this reunion concert. And she said, first she was like, it's not going well. Now it's getting better. But then she admits to Vernon, something's off. And he's like, no, I got it. And then they show her next week saying, something's wrong with our kingdom and you're not being honest with me. You need to tell me. So I don't know if he's going to be honest and open with her about that. But Martin, when he confronts the guy again, because even his granddad was like, let it go. Martin confronts him again and says, admit who you are. And the guy said, yeah, I'm who you think I am. And I'm going to get what I deserve because what you did to my brother, who he can't even avenge himself, I'm going to taunt you until I feel like it. But yeah, I want some money. I'm getting some money out of this. So Vernon said he's not going to get the upper hand. He thinks he's getting the upper hand over us, but he's not. So he's going to have to do something dirty and conniving. But let's be real. The fact that you covered up a murder, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't murder. It was manslaughter. I watched enough Law and Order to know. But Derek, nurse, I'll put her name up when I go to post the video. His thing is, if you want to be with me, you'll marry me. Her thing is, if you want to be with me, you'll wait. But secretly, she's in love with Andre. Because one day, I told y'all how she's imagining Andre at the house. Well, I thought they ended up sleeping together. That was a dream of hers. Like, she woke up the next morning, and Andre's in front of her. Yeah, I wore you out, la 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 la. And she wakes up from the dream. So even Jacob and Naomi are best friends. That's her name, Ashley, with Ashley and Derek. And the fact that Jacob knew, well, Andre knew that Derek and Ashley broke up, bothered Derek. Like, why would she tell you? And how did you even know I was going to, what, that bothers me. And then Jacob, y'all know I get them mixed up. Because if you see them side by side, they look alike. So Jacob saw Andre's mannerisms when he was talking about Ashley. He said, he told Naomi, he's feeling her. And Naomi was like, no, he's not. And he was like, well, why? He said, he is. I could tell. He says, my BS meter rang off. It was something he asked Andre about Ashley and Derek. And he said his BS meter went off. So Naomi admits to Ashley later on, I never should have told Derek to propose to you. And because even Ashley was like, what are you thinking? You know I'm not ready to I genuinely, I don't get it. I don't get it. So, they ended up getting like really drunk. That's why she woke up from the dream thinking Andre was in the house and he wasn't. So, or in her apartment. But yeah, it's going to be, I'm pretty sure it was manslaughter. He accidentally killed this guy. My thing is, what type of predicament were you in where you accidentally killed someone? Like, I know it was something about the side of the road. Somebody there was something that was said on that note. What is the color of your money? So I'm just wondering what all went down exactly. So again, we know that someone died now and Martin was responsible, but how and who all was involved? We kind of know who, but to what extent were they involved? So that's what I'm looking forward to hearing about next week. I also want them to really resolve this Eva, Leslie, Dana Shabacle. Like this needs to, they're dragging this out. Then I got to mention Derek. Interesting what happens with that dynamic, especially now that Andre and Danny are finally open to everyone about what's going on. I think the only one who doesn't know is Vernon. Vernon doesn't know. Because even when because it was Nicole, Danny, Vernon at this house to meet Chelsea's new boo. That's when Danny tells Nicole, and when Nicole goes away, Vernon says, well, why did Nicole leave? She said, oh, she had an appointment. She lied. Because I think she's afraid. Because at the end of the day, Danny is sleeping with someone who was probably 20 years younger than her. A good 20 years younger than her. And the reality is, it isn't more acceptable for women to do it. Now, do women do it? Yeah. And should we care? No. Let them do what they feel is best. Men do it all the time. It is not. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I'm one of those ones. I think it's gross to see someone who you look like you can be that person's grandfather or father. No. That's why I'm very selective. Like, even when I was on dating apps, y'all, if they looked old, swipe left. Because I already look young. Look at this face. This face. Some people think I'm 25 still. I'm about to be 45. Matter of fact, yesterday somebody bought a book for me. I know I'm digressing, y'all. Someone bought a book for me yesterday and they said, oh, black don't crack. I said, I know. But I digress. So again, I hope they resolve or at least come to a further development, because they kind of left Leslie and Dana and Eva alone. I need them to come to a further progression with that. Of course, Vernon Martin, that's going to be the talk of the town next week. That's definitely going to be something I'm going to deal with. Yeah.